Hey there, Pisces. Welcome to your reading for mid-January 2022. This is going to be like a mid-January update, and we're going to do a mega Celtic cross. So I don't know what to call this, but it's just going to be like a super Celtic cross. And so we're going to do double cards for each position. And yeah, I understand that this is not how you lay out a Celtic cross, but use your imagination, Pisces. And we're just going to see what comes up for you at this time. There will be a part 2 as well, and that will be linked up in the comments, the top comment down below. And in that, we're just going to clarify to turn this into a mega Celtic cross. So that's going to be that, Pisces. Already, damn. This looks really good. In your current general energies, you have the Wheel of Fortune and the Ten of Cups. It's looking like a pretty good reading. Just in general is what I would say to you. So I definitely like where this is going for you, Pisces. I do feel, hold on, let me just, I don't know, maybe this was a mistake because it's like, this is a mess. It's messing with my card OCD. You know how I like to lay out my cards, Pisces, but what I would say here is that I feel that this is more your imagination. I love the Wheel of Fortune. Don't get me wrong, to me it's like one of the best cards in the deck, of course. You also have the Sun here, which is like the best card in the deck. But what I would say is that sometimes I feel, especially when you get this right here, I mean, this is like a very dreamy energy, the Ten of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is your personal vision for your life, Pisces. And the Ten of Cups, it's like those cups are in a rainbow. And even though those people are happy on the card, on the Ten of Cups here, I gotta go this direction. Even though they're happy, it's like they might not necessarily have those cups. Sometimes I think of cups as something that you are imagining. It's like, to me, the Ten of Cups can be the wouldn't it be nice card. The Ten of Cups does ask us to, kind of live in that world. It does say dream big, kind of follow your inspirations or a dream for the things that you desire to have, but something needs to be released here. In your diagonal, like going this direction, you have the Ten of Swords and the Six of Cups. So I feel for a lot of you, what this is saying, it's pretty obvious. I think something from the past needs to be released. It's funny because that Ten of Swords came up in reverse when I put it here on the table. The Ten of Swords has been reversed in the deck that I happen to be using. I used this one yesterday as well, and that Ten of Swords was reversed. So I just never fixed it. But what I would say is it's kind of interesting. It's kind of like you could be feeling stuck to a situation. We see this here in your top row, and this is like something that needs to be released in this diagonal towards the Six of Cups, which is pretty interesting. I'm not, it could be love, but I feel like it could be anything in your life. I would say that, for you, Pisces, we do have Venus retrograde, and it would make sense to me that a lot of you could be releasing past love situations as well, so that you can have new ones, or so you can invite new love situations into your life as well. So again, that makes perfect sense to me. Again, I really don't care that Venus is retrograde, especially because it's in Capricorn in your 11th house, Pisces. And again, yes, some of you might not be 11th house Capricorns, but for the most part, most of you are. And even if you're not, I believe astrologically, it's like it doesn't matter where the house is. It's still going to be like 11th house energy for you, Pisces. And so to me, Venus retrograde is actually positive in going retrograde in Capricorn in the 11th. It's kind of like a positive position. Again, even though retrogrades can cause confusion and all sorts of stuff, we do have Mercury going retrograde as well. And there is something about communication here, so we'll talk about that in just a minute. For your crossing energy, you have the Death card and the Fool. It's like kind of like taking some sort of leap of faith, releasing something could be a little bit of a challenge for you. The crossing energy can be what's helping or hurting you. It can also be both for you, Pisces. It can be both things in a Celtic cross. I feel for some of you, it's like, a sacrifice needs to be made. There could be kind of like some anxiety. If we look at the Death card, these people are like begging for their lives. Mostly the priest here, and then this lady has just given up. But the child is holding up a flower to the Death Rider, and it just kind of says that, children are not afraid of change. They're not afraid to do something new. They're not afraid to try anything new either. And the Fool is definitely not afraid to take a leap of faith. It's like he's jumping off a cliff, but he's pretty confident. He has his head held up high in the air, and he also has that tiny sack on his back. It represents the fact that he only needs a small amount of whatever knowledge, wisdom, money, whatever it is that you're looking, whatever journey you're looking to start, it's like he has everything he needs right here, right between his two ears. So I feel for some of you, it's like you're much more ready than you realize to move towards your destiny with that Wheel of Fortune. That's where I feel like this reading is going. And again, your destiny is just your personal vision for your life with the Wheel of Fortune. It's like if you see yourself, starting some sort of business, it's like that could be your destiny, right? It's like you see yourself getting in business and doing all these things. I feel like there's a lot of dreaming with that Ten of Cups. So it's like I feel like you're getting very detailed as well with the Ten of Cups, which is that's like the best way to manifest. It's like if you can get super detailed and not only say I'm going to build a business, but if you can say I'm going to build a business that makes millions of dollars a year, and I'm going to take those millions of dollars a year and I'm going to invest them here and here and here. It's like the more you go like narrow it down, and I don't even think it's narrowing it down. I think it's just living as if, kind of getting into that energy where you're talking about all the things you would do. Because it's like if you had, $10 million, you wouldn't just take the $10 million. There are probably things you should do with it. There are probably things that you could do to make it grow. There are probably things you could do to donate it, right? And it's like the more detail, the more you can tell that story, and the more you can live in that story, the better with this energy. Same thing in love as well. It's like maybe you want to start talking to yourself about the type of family you want, all that other stuff. I would be careful of this energy. This is in the area of your thoughts, the Tower in the Knight of Swords. It's kind of like saying you're afraid that if you make a decision that there's going to be a Tower moment. I would say maybe. Here's the thing about the Tower is it's like we shouldn't necessarily be avoiding Tower moments. I know that everybody thinks that they want to avoid Tower moments, but the point of the Tower is that they have built that Tower up too high around them, and now they're kind of, they're not seeing the reality of the world. That's why the Tower is collapsing, because the Tower can represent beliefs, things that they think. These two people falling out of the Tower, it can represent their ideas or whatever. It's like they've built the walls up around them, and now it's collapsing down so they can come back down to earth so that they can be grounded in reality. So I would say, you could be worrying about a Tower moment that is going to happen, but you shouldn't be, because I feel like it's like bringing you back down to reality. That Knight of Swords, as far as the area of your thoughts, is it's like you're thinking that you don't want to rush. Not necessarily a bad thing with the Knight of Swords, especially in the area of the thoughts like that. Although I do get rushing thoughts in general with the Knight of Swords. So, I would be maybe kind of like slow things down if you're like jumping to conclusions with the Knight of Swords. In the area of your foundation, you have the King of Wands and the Sun. Pretty good energy here, Leo. Pisces. I feel like some of you could be dealing with a Leo is where I was going with that. You've been getting Leo. You've been showing up in Leo's readings as well. Some of you could be dealing with a Leo. For others, I feel like you could be dealing with a fire sign in general. That could be like part of your foundation. Maybe you're in a relationship with a fire sign. There's a lot of happiness here with the Sun. Could also just be someone with fire in their chart. Take it how it resonates. This could also be you. I feel like the whole entire reading is more talking about confidence and, embracing your own inner confidence and really going for something. It's interesting because the King of Wands, he kind of raises things like a child. And there's a baby on that horse on the Sun card. And the King of Wands, the way that they were set up here on the table, it's like he's looking over to that child. So he wants to, the way I'm taking this for you is it's almost like he wants to be nurturing his inner child. He wants to be nurturing his ideas and things that make him happy. So I kind of feel that's like your energy. That is your foundation, is following your bliss, right? And that's what I feel kind of like you are doing with those two cards there, Pisces. Next, in the area of the past, you have the King of Cups and the Page of Cups. Again, more imagination energy. The King of Cups, I kind of get like emotional turmoil on. So I do feel some of you in the past have gone through a very emotional period of time. Could be around love with the Page of Cups. But the Page of Cups, he might be imagining that fish that's in the cup. That might not exist. So he needs to grab on to that fish. He needs to make sure that he manifests the things that are in that cup so that he can be successful. So I feel for a lot of you, it's like saying, grab onto that fish, make it happen, whatever you want. To me, also, next in the area of your near future, you have the Seven of Cups. Like literally, you keep getting this right here. This combination in several readings. Not only that, it's like saying, that with the Page of Cups, to me, that's definitely your imagination when we get the Seven of Cups as well, because the Seven of Cups is your imagination. I've been talking to you about this for like the past few readings. The Seven of Cups, it's almost like fluff. It's almost like extra stuff is popping up in your head. And what I mean by that is it's like, look, there's this big pentacle being offered to you. The Ace of Pentacles could be an opportunity, it could be a love offer, it could be a business offer, any type of offer you could possibly imagine. But it's like you need to grab onto that pentacle. You need to make it happen. The Seven of Cups is like fears. It's too many what ifs. It's too many like, what if this happens? What if that happens? You know, what if I say yes to this person in love and then, you know, nothing happens or we break up or whatever? It's like, you know, I say, who cares? Like, you know, I'm a cold-hearted, you know, I have Aquarius rising, probably. That probably is what makes me cold-hearted. But what I would say is like, who cares? Just go out on a date, see what happens. I think it's better to go through the experience than like worry about breakups and all this other stuff that maybe isn't going to happen. So, you know, and maybe it is, but it's like, that's part of life. We should be going through these experiences and just saying, well, it is what it is, right? And trying to change it in the future. But what I would say here is that I feel like there's some sort of opportunity that you want. Ace of Pentacles, Seven of Cups is like too much thinking, feeling trapped, not kind of focusing on how to actually take action. The Ace of Pentacles, it's like the hand of God reaching out. We have to grab onto that pentacle and make it happen. Even in your next position here, where you have, this is the next few months, by the way, you have the Magician and the Eight of Swords. It's like Eight of Swords, like the only person keeping you stuck is you. So, and I'm not calling you out here, Pisces. Trust me, I'm a Pisces, right? I'm calling myself out here, and trust me, I've kept myself stuck multiple times in my life for no freaking reason, right? So I get it. But what I would say here is I would set yourself free from the Eight of Swords. There's no one around her keeping her stuck where she is. The Magician also asks you to follow your bliss. He has these he has these flowers right here. It is funny that I just said stars. I don't know, that might mean something to some of you, but he has those flowers in front of him, and it represents the fact that he knows that he needs to focus on joy, happiness, and, you know, bliss. He needs to like follow what makes him happy first before he can, you know, attract whatever it is he wants to attract in his life. The Ten of Cups kind of represents the same thing. It's like they are focused on being happy. The whole point of the Ten of Cups is that they are a family. They still deal with all the issues of the world. They still have to deal with, you know, everything that's going on around them, but they choose happiness. So that's kind of like what I feel here as well, especially in the near future for you here, Pisces. This is your that's your next few months is what I meant to say. Next, in the area of your closest relationships, you have the Six of Swords and the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is like a quick conclusion. Six of Swords moving on to calmer shores. So it doesn't surprise me. Again, Venus retrograde in your 11th house definitely could be, you know, causing some changes in your closest relationships. Not just love, but pretty much everything. The Eight of Wands is communication, though. And I kind of said this at the beginning of the reading. Even though we have Mercury retrograde, I would still say that communication is going to be actually very important for you, and very straightforward communication as well. I also feel like this could be like quick movements, you know, things changing quickly in your closest relationships. So it feels very sudden to me. You do have the Tower here. Whenever we have the Tower in a reading, you know, it can represent just a sudden change, you know, some sort of sudden energies changing in your life. The Eight of Wands is very good for socializing, though, so I would definitely encourage you to, you know, socialize if you want to. Next, in the area of your future feelings, you have the Ten of Swords, which again came up in reverse, and you have the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is like some sort of change, and I feel this is a turnaround. Again, the Ten of Swords came up in reverse, which is actually pretty good. It could say there's like a rebirth coming in for you in your life personally. Six of Cups to me is my card of a gift from the universe. Sometimes when I get the Six of Cups, I feel it's talking about a turnaround, meaning like you've tried to do something in the past and obstacles are being kind of like lifted out of your life. And I feel that for you here, Pisces. I feel for some of you that this is talking about obstacles being removed from your life with these two cards. And it could be in the area of love with the Six of Cups, but like just like every other reading that I've done for the past, you know, 3 weeks, I would say that this is more about some sort of childhood dream that could include love, absolutely. You know, so I feel, you know, San, the Ten of Cups, the Six of Cups, even the King of Wands looking over to the sun. You know, I always say King of Wands to me is like the most nurturing king, maybe in the tarot, because he really takes care of something like a baby, and it could literally be babies. It could be, it could be anything, right? For your outcome, you have the Five of Pentacles and the Seven of Wands. Get out of your head here, Pisces, is what I'd say to you. Again, there's gonna be a part 2. It's gonna be linked up at the top in the top comment down below. But what I would say here is that the Five of Pentacles is like calling attention to your weaknesses, and the Seven of Wands is, defending your position at the top of the hill. I almost feel that there is this energy of it is feeling like a little bit stubborn to me, Pisces. And again, I'm calling myself out here too. So before you get offended, Pisces, I'm calling myself out. So don't do that. But what I would say is I feel like a little bit of stubbornness. And again, we're going to look into this in part 2 and see what is going on here. Why are you feeling held back from what you truly want, which is this right here. Again, not a bad reading, pretty good. I just feel, it starts off great. To end with this as a conclusion, really, if I'm being honest, about the reading, it's saying you don't have that yet. 10 of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune. It's like that, to me, that's why I was saying it's like that is more your dream. It's like you are imagining that you could have that, or you really like those feelings. I feel this surging energy as well. I feel like there are moments where maybe you're out of your head. Maybe you're driving down the road. Sometimes, you're driving, you kind of zone out a little bit, and, definitely drive safely, Pisces, but, you zone out and you start, daydreaming, right? I feel like in those moments, maybe you get these surges of energy where you're, imagining your future life, you're imagining your future business, and it feels really good. But it feels like a surge, And I feel like this is that Seven of Wands with the Five of Pentacles is just like a little bit stubborn energy. So let's look into that. But thank you for being here, Pisces. Really appreciate it. Again, part 2 is linked up in the top comment down below. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your month.